Welcome to Cooking with Alba. Today we're going to be cooking some pork soup and some fried pork recipe. Yes, this pork soup is just appetizing, great for the festive seasons, great for special occasions, great for yourself, just to revitalize you and give you that strength and energy as well. So you realize one thing with this pork recipe is that it doesn't look pale, the color looks good. I'm going to teach you how to do that. So you definitely need pork, you need some good spices, and pork is all about spicing. So I've got some anise seeds, I've got some mustard seed, cardamon, black pepper, I've got a bit of fennel seeds, I've got some rosemary, I've got some thyme, some turmeric, I've got star anise, I've got coriander, white pepper, some grains of selim or rentia, I've got some cloves or guamba, and of course I've got some African nutmegs or calabash nutmegs, what we call rediamba, and some bay leaves. And then I also have ginger, onion, some pepper, fresh pepper, and then garlic, and I've got salt as well. You can check all of these quantities in the description button as well, and you can do well to check out my spice mix for pork as well, which makes it easy. If you do that spice mix and put it down, you're always safe to go. So for this video I used a kilo of the fresh pork ham, and then the fresh pork shoulder. The shoulder part has a bit of bone, skin, and a bit of meat, and the ham part has more of meat in there. So the ham part is going to be for the fried pork, and then the shoulder part for the soup. So to clean my pork, I just use a bit of lemon and apple cider vinegar. Yes, this for my good sauce, but at the end of the day, I just want to clean it to be very sure, because sometimes the handling can be something else. Yes, so just that is okay. And one thing about pork is, to say chicken is not as nauseating like chicken. The meat holds its shape. It's not very tough or hard like goat meat. So if you are new to pork, that's one thing about it. And the beauty about pork is that it won't disgrace you. So even if you cook it for too long, it will take a while before it even flakes apart. Yes, so it's able to hold a structure, which is good. So don't be too scared if you've not tried to cook pork before. This video I'll walk you through how to cook it and cook it well. So for the shoulder part, like I said, it has a bit of the bones and all those things in there, which is good for soups, for the marrow in there as well. So I'm just going to cut it and then into the sizes that I want. And another plus about pork is it's relatively lean meat, unlike meat which is very much like cow meat, which is very much bloody in there. So this is also very great for people who are checking how do I say, who are not supposed to take more of red meat. You can substitute this, but at the end of the day, it's still so just check the quantities you take also as well. So this part, the ham part, yes, I'm going to cut it also into sizable sizes. Yes, not too big, not too small as well. So once that's done, I'm going to blend my spice mix into it. I'm going to add in salt and water as well, and then blend it. You want this to be as thick as possible. You want this to be as thick as possible, and you want it to be as smooth as possible. This is going to marinate your pork for you to get the seasoning to go in there properly. So once this comes to a blend and is well done, you just pour it over your meat, and now you smell the vibes when you do this mix. You smell the vibes. So I'm just going to mix it or spread it all over the pork meat, so that every part of it has a fair share of the marinade. And then I transferred it into my glassware as well, my dish as well. So this is supposed to, I separated it, so let me make mention of it. I separated it such that the bony part was at one side, the fleshy part was at the other side, so that when I'm cooking, I don't stress myself anymore. Then, like a typical Ghanaian, I wash the rest of the marinade onto it, and then I let it sit for, you can let it sit for like 30 minutes, or you can put it in your fridge overnight and then use it the next day. So for the soup, obviously I need some tomatoes, some fresh pepper, some beets, that's going to give it that color. I need some garden eggs, onion, and for the aromatics part, when the soup is almost done, I have some chopped onion, carrot, pepper, and beef or salted beef. And of course, I've got some salty taste at the side as well. So like I said, the meat You can let it be in your fridge overnight, or you can let it sit for like 30 minutes, which is good to go. So for the soup part, like I said, I'm using the shoulder. Yes, the shoulder part of the pork, which has the bit of bones in there with meat and then some skin. Then I poured a bit of the marinade sauce around it, yes, onto it as well, because I want the flavor. No, then I placed in my vegetables. I arranged it so that when you're picking it out, you don't struggle. Yes. So I'm not going to do it separate because I need the vegetable stock in there as well. You see that thing? So I'm going to cook all of it, and with the pepper, the garlic, and the ginger, you can easily lose it. So I place them at one corner. Small water to just add up so that it's able to cook properly. I add a bit of extra salt because of the vegetables I'm putting in there. Then I let it cook till the vegetables are very soft. Yes, when it's soft, you realize that even for the tomatoes, the skin begins to peel off, the onions will open up, and you see it very soft. Your garden eggs, when you press on it, you should be feeling it as a bit mushy and soft. So I just pick out the vegetables once they are done, and then I put this into my blender. So the beautiful part about doing it this way is, you see, you're saving your time, you're saving your energy. The pork is still cooking, the taste and everything is still being kept, and you're using less saucepans. Some of you, by the time you're done cooking, everywhere is saucepans, baby. Please, you have to be organized in the kitchen as well, so it doesn't give you that fatigue and that stress as well. So yes, once I've picked out my vegetables, I'm good to blend. Typically, you can let it sit down and cool, then you can just use your tap water to just blend, and then you go your way. But this day it was a bit hot, so what I did was to use cold water in there. You don't want to stress your blender. A lot of us stress our blenders, so they're not able to last for long, no matter how strong your blender is. If you treat it well, it will last longer for you. So I'm going to blend this till it's smooth, and because there is beetroot in, it comes very pinkish when you cook it at first. Now, another thing is you need to strain this mixture, especially when your blender is not very, very fine at blending. Yeah, so I'd always recommend you sieve this so that you don't come and fight me afterwards. Yes, sieve this, and then you mix a whole mixture up. So you realize I'm not using so much water in there because I want to retain the taste as possible, and I don't want the soup to be just watery. Yes, so once that comes to a boil, I'm going to add in the aromatics as well, the onion, the carrot, and I'm going to put it on low heat for it to simmer. Don't forget that I cooked the meat with the vegetables, which lasted for like about 7 to 10 minutes. As I was blending, or I was preparing to blend, it was still on fire. So it's been cooking for about 15-20 minutes before I added in the aromatics part to it, the carrot and all those ones. So once that goes in, I just put it on very low heat for it to simmer for just 10 minutes. Just 10 minutes is good. So typically you need like 20 to 30 minutes to do your pork soup. This is quick shishishi pork soup. Yes. So once it simmers down, you're going to get the oils forming on top because pork has its fat in there. And mind you, pork fat is very, very healthy. I'm going to show you how to make pork fat, and I'm going to teach you some of the benefits in there. And so once it simmers and is good, then I'm good to serve my pork meat. Yes, like I said, the size I cut is not going to be so long to take. And like I was saying, pork is not to say it's not as tough as goat meat, and it's not flaky or soft like chicken meat, and so it's there and there. You're able to really, hold its structure even when you cook it for long, so it's not going to disgrace you. So yes, I'm just going to dish out a bit of it, and then yes, there's a bit of fresh pepper in if you like the peppery cake. And yes, you see this, very colorful, very tasty as well, very nutritious as well, not as pale as a regular pork soup. So this is how I want you to make your pork soup this year, your fresh pork soup, and give me your feedback as to how it goes. Now let's jump in to see how I do the fried pork as well. So for the fried pork, what happens is once you're ready, you just need to put your pan on fire, put your pork into it. And like I said, I was frying the boneless parts, the ham parts. So you can, even if it's the shoulder or the ribs or whatever part of the pork you like or you get, you can still do it. But you know, when you do the ham part, you get a lot of meat to chew. Orinama. That's the vibe. So I'm just going to put them in, and I'm using a smaller pan because I don't want a big pan and you end up putting so much water in, and then there's like stock and things will not go in properly, and your meat will become some way. So a small pan, so I don't end up using so much water, because it's the heat that's going to cook it up. And I added in a little bit of extra salt because I realized my marinade didn't have so much salt in there. Then I just cook it up for like 10 minutes. 10 minutes is even far. Usually 5 to 7 minutes should do for you. When it's done, you realize it shrinks. Yes, and at this point you can even eat it like that, or you can use it for your soups or for your pork stew as well. But for this one, I was come to fry it, so I just let it cool down, and then in my pan I just added in some oil, and yes, I'm just going to just fry this off. Yes, if you don't like the oil bit, you can check my grilled pork recipe. The grilled pork is very easy because where it's gotten to, if I'd left it on, it would have, the spice would have gone in, it would have grilled by itself, and then it would have been something. Yes, but this is also. So you have to check this out, and you can check the grilled pork recipe as well. So I'm just going to fry both sides of it to get that golden brown kind of feel. This doesn't take long to cook because it's already cooked in the stock. So I'm just trying to just fry it up, and this gives you a very should I say crunchy out, soft in. Yes, so you're able to get the meaty feel in there. Sometimes you go and buy pork meat, you fried pork, and it's just oily, or it's just, you won't feel it enough. It's just the skin. But that's why when you do it at home, obviously you should be able to enjoy the meat bit as well. So the stock, I'm not going to throw it away. I can use it for my jollof and all those ones, pork jollof and easy crack. Then I fry it. So because I use coconut oil, and the second bit, you realize there was more stock around it, and so it was foaming up. So don't be so worried if you get that foaminess in there as well. And look at how beautiful and how gorgeous my fried pork looks in there. And typically for me, one thing I'll do with my fried pork is to enjoy it with some fried potatoes. Yes, so I have always keep some fried cubed potatoes in the freezer, and I just fried that in the pork oil as well. Oh my god, it was heavenly with the two in there. So yes, I hope this year you try out this pork soup, you try out this fried pork recipe, and give me your take on how it goes, because I believe you would really love these recipes. Till I see you in the next food video, do live life to the fullest, be joyous, be merry. Lots of love from my team and I. Mwah.